iProcess is an app that allows you to charge credit cards through your gateway account with your Android device. To get up and running with the app, go to the Google Play Store and search for iProcess. It should be the first result and is a free app, so you can just tap on the install button to download the app. Once the app is installed, you'll be able to find it in your list of applications on your phone, or you can tap the open icon straight from the Google Play Store. When you open the app for the first time, you'll be asked to give your device a nickname. This can be whatever you would like, and will be displayed on your transaction reports to help you know what phone ran a particular transaction in the event that you are using multiple devices. Hit save, and then you're asked to configure the app. You want to hit configure now so that you can enter the username and password for your account to link to your gateway. The only pieces of information you must enter on this page are username and password. Once you've entered those, you're ready to go. Hit the back button to go to the main menu, and you can see all the options for the app. We're going to run our first sale, so hit the green sale icon, and then you must enter an amount, enter the credit card, give us an expiration date. Those are the absolute minimum fields required to run a transaction. However, your specific account may have settings that require more. In this case, I'm going to enter a CVV and a postal code. I can scroll down and see my merchant-defined fields, order details, and some cardholder information such as name and address. Once I've filled out everything I need, I can hit process. You can give the phone to your customer, have them sign, and approve. It'll ask them to give the phone back to you. We will give you the opportunity to confirm the transaction, and when you're ready, hit OK. Alright, excellent, so the transaction has been approved. From here, I can hit Done, which will take me back to the main menu. I can hit New Transaction, which will just bring me back to the sale screen to start a new sale. Or I can view the receipt. If I tap View Receipt, I can see the receipt, which includes all the transaction information I entered, as well as a map of where the transaction took place, and the customer's signature. I can back out of here by hitting the purple button, or hitting the green Options button in the top right. Shows me some options for this transaction. I can send a receipt, I can void the transaction, or I can refund the transaction. If I choose Send Receipt, this gives me the opportunity to send the receipt to somebody via the share sheet on my Android device. Any app that accepts image files can be used, and the most common use cases would be to send it via email or text message. If you are using a card reader with iProcess, you will need to enable the device by going to Settings and choose Swipe Device. Tap on the reader that you have, hit OK, and then hit Restart Now to relaunch iProcess. At this point, you can plug in the card reader. iProcess will try to raise your media volume to 100%. In order to make the reader last longer, it partially powers itself from the phone and needs the volume to be turned up all the way to read cards. You can confirm the volume is raised by pressing on the Volume Up button on your device when the card reader is plugged in. You can swipe the card either from the main screen or by tapping into the Sale option. Either way will work. Swipe the card with the magnetic strip facing the larger side of the card reader, and you will see the credit card number, expiration date, and cardholder name filled out. The most common function of iProcess will be running sales. As we've already seen, this is done by hitting the green sale icon and running through the sale. If credits are enabled on your account, you can use the red credit icon, which operates very similarly to a sale. However, it is giving your customer money instead of them giving you money. The history button takes me to a full history of all transactions processed on this phone. We've already looked at how you can send a receipt to a customer from here, but you can also run voids and refunds as well. So if I want to void the $6 transaction I just did, I can tap into it, hit Options, and hit Void. We'll confirm, and when you hit OK, it's processed. Excellent. I'm going to hit Done, and I'm taken back to the main menu. When I go back to history, I can see that transaction is now red and has been marked as void. Now this $15 transaction, I want a refund. I can tap into it, hit Options, and Refund. Refunds can be done for any amount up to and including the amount of the transaction. This transaction was for $15.68, so I can enter any number up to that amount. I'm going to do a full refund, so I'll key in $15.68, hit OK. Once again, we'll confirm, and I hit Yes. Perfect, it's been approved, and the refund has been completed. I'll hit Done, go back to my history, and now I can see that new transaction. Refunds are a new transaction. We can see the sale, and then the refund a couple lines up. If I'd like, I can hit the red Clear History button in the bottom left, which will clear all of my history from the device. Or I can hit the green Send History button in the bottom right, and that will allow me to export all of my transactions in a text file. All non-sensitive transaction information will be exported. The settings screen is where you can change all of the settings for iProcess. Right at the top, there's application password. Application password is where you can set a password for your application. This is separate from the gateway password that you had to enter when you first started using the app. And if you turn it on, every time you open the app, it will prompt the user to enter whatever password you set here. This is particularly helpful for devices that will be handled by many people, but you only want some people to be able to run transactions. Below that are the gateway login details, which we've already gone over. Your username and password are for your gateway. Card reader settings will be relevant to merchants who are using the swipers that we offer. To enable Swiper, you will have to select Choose Swipe Device, select the reader that you have, and hit OK. This will restart the app, and then Enable Swiper will be checked, and your current reader will be selected as well. You can enable a Bluetooth printer if you have a Bluetooth printer connected to your phone. And then we offer quite a few settings under Advanced Settings. Enable Lock Screen is for that password that you set at the top. If you do want to have an application password, the one that you set up here, you have to enable Lock Screen to have us prompt for that password. If Send Receipts is checked, that will have us email the customer every time a transaction is successfully processed if you provided an email address for them. This is your standard gateway email and will look a little different from the one that we show in our reports in iProcess. If you uncheck this, or if you do not provide an email address with your customers when they're checking out, this email will not go out. Enable Location Map is on by default, but you can turn it off if you don't want the location of transactions to show up on the receipt that you can send from iProcess. Enable Signature is where you can turn on or off the signature page that prompts every time you run a sale. You can turn this off if you don't want your customers to have to sign the phone with their finger. Below that, Enable Tips is where you can decide whether you want tips to be an option. Please note that tips are displayed on the signature page, so if you turn off signature, you are also turning off tips. The Customer Vault is a feature that is available to some merchants, and if you are using that feature in your gateway, you can check this box right here to enable Vault features in iProcess. iProcess does not allow you to charge customers who you have previously saved, but it does let you save customers to your Vault. How this will work is when you run a sale, we'll ask you, do you want to charge or do you want to save card and charge? If you hit charge, it'll go through the same sale process that you're used to. And if you do save card and charge, you can enter the card information as well as all the information from a normal sale, except an amount. When you hit process, it'll add the customer to your vault. And if you would like, there's an add to charge button at the top. If you tap that, you can run a sale and add to the customer vault at the same time. Enable International Postal will allow for international postcodes to be entered in the app instead of just US. Device nickname correlates to the name that you entered when you first launched iProcess, and you can change it at any point. Getting near the bottom, tax settings is where you can enable tax. Tax is off by default, but if you want to turn it on, you can enable it here. Enter a default tax rate. We'll do 9%. And now that this has been enabled, we will add 9% onto any transaction that you run. As an example, here's a transaction that I've run for $20. And over here on the right, you can see the tax of $1.80 has been applied, so the total will be $21.80. This will also be reflected on the receipt, where you can see a total sale was done for $21.80, the amount was $20, and the tax was $1.80. Finally, under Settings, you have Receipt Details, and this is where you can add your own business information if you would like it to show up on the receipts that you send from iProcess. I've entered some information here, and when I pull up a new transaction receipt, I can see at the top we've added the business information that I entered on that page.